All right, Coach Kimmel, we're going to start with Marcus McKeithen.
All right.
So Marcus, you'll be up here. Okay. Just get yourself in the frame here. Mark will walk you through it.
All right. Hey, everybody.
You hearing me all right?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Perfect. All right.
Hello, Marcus.
So we will we'll take questions here for a few minutes with Marcus, and our first person in the queue is Greg Barnes. Greg, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask away.
All right. I'm on a different account apparently. So
I see that.
yes. Hey, Marcus, thanks for joining us. What has your process been this off season? Obviously not having spring ball and having to go home. How did you go about making sure you were still in shape and taking care of things like that?
I just made sure, I try to make sure I didn't miss a day. Didn't try to make a day, take a day off and have excuses for myself. Just make sure I got that work in daily. And
there's been a lot of questions about chemistry amongst the position groups. Offensive line, obviously, that's something that we talk about a lot, the importance of chemistry. Has that been an issue? Has there been any rust for you guys the first couple weeks back?
Nah, the first 2 days, it just felt like we never left. Like everybody was back in it and everybody was communicating real well.
There's also a lot of questions about the interior defensive line with Aaron and Jason gone. Who are some guys that have stood out to you that have impressed you?
One of the younger guys, Miles Murphy, he's been looking great. Ray has stepped up. Just our D-line is looking great right now.
Thanks, Marcus.
Okay, over to Andrew Jones.
Hey, Marcus, going back to your working out during the shutdown when you were back home, was it ever a challenge to especially when you didn't have the support and the guys around you that kind of helped push you forward? Was it ever a challenge being alone and having to do all those things every day?
It was for a little bit, but I connected with some friends from back home, and we kind of worked out together to push ourselves to get better during this off season, difficult times.
What did you learn during that process? Because like I said, a lot of guys, they're kind of aided when they're around their teammates. Everyone else is pushing, so you're going to push along with them. Did you kind of learn something about yourself, having to be fully disciplined and accountable for what you were doing every day?
Yeah, definitely. I had to learn how to just motivate myself instead of having a coach tell me like when to go. That was probably one of the biggest things.
And you're week and a half or 8 days, I guess, 8 practices into preseason camp. What have you noticed differently about your game right now as opposed to where it was at the end of last season?
Definitely a lot more experience. Like I know what I'm looking for now. I know what I need to improve on. So I just know the game better.
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Okay, over to Ross Martin.
Hey, Marcus. What's going on next to you at center? What have you seen out of the players competing for that position?
It's a battle every day for that spot. But they're both giving their all, and they're all just trying to get better, make the offensive line better.
Is it mostly Brian Anderson and Ty Murray?
Yes.
And then how are they rotating? Is it every other rep, or how do y'all go about kind of exchanging reps? 'Cause I'm sure it happens across the whole line.
Yeah, it's pretty much like they split reps. So pretty much that's pretty much it. They just split reps.
Okay, thank you. And what are you weighing in at now?
336.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Marcus.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, Marcus, that was quick. That was the last question for you today, but we appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good day.
You too.
Brevity.
That's it.
We got Tyrone Hopper coming up next.
Okay.
Ooh. So how y'all doing?
Hey, Tyrone. How are you, sir?
Good.
Doing well. Good. So we'll just run through a few questions here as soon as we get our first hand raised, and that goes to Andrew Jones. So, Andrew, go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Hey, Tyrone, can you kind of walk us through the process through the last couple of years, having to deal with some injuries and sitting out for other reasons that have kind of gotten you to where you are now, where it appears that you're going to be one of the starters out there at that hybrid linebacker position?
Well, coming in, I knew I had 2 ongoing shoulder injuries. So after my redshirt freshman season, I got surgery on the first one. Then after my sophomore season, I got surgery on the second one. And then in the middle of that summer, I think, my sophomore summer, I ended up pulling my hamstring and ended up tearing, I guess. And throughout that process, I guess it just made me stronger. Taught me how to overcome adversity. So it just built me as a better player, better person, lead me up to now.
Mac has mentioned your name a couple of times in the last couple of weeks about one of the guys that's really standing out and he's been very impressed with. How satisfying is it for you to be in your last season? You're kind of in the position where you are right now. Your coach is praising you, and it looks like you have an opportunity to contribute an awful lot this year.
It's great hearing from a coach like Mac Brown raving about me, but there's always more work to put in. So I'm just coming out here every day, continue to work harder and harder because I know I have competition right behind me that could easily just take my spot like that. So I come out here just trying to prove myself every day, pushing myself.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Andrew. We're going to move over to Greg Barnes.
Ty, just curious, has your position changed at all from last year? I mean, are you playing with your hand in the dirt anymore?
I haven't played with my hand in the dirt for a couple years now, since the new defense. My position's changed a little bit since the old defensive style. We don't put our hand in the dirt anymore. I'm really like a hybrid linebacker, but right now I'm moving all over the place. Sometimes you'll see me at the end position in the 4. Sometimes you'll see me out wide covering the 2, and sometimes you'll see me just right on the edge as a defensive end type player, but never with my hand in the dirt.
What's kind of been the key for the defense this offseason? Trying to kind of stick together in an approach, because you did lose some veteran guys like every team does, but with Aaron and Miles in the back there. What's been the process, and who has stepped up as leaders for this team?
I feel like we had some young guys that came in and stepped up, like Jaleel Taylor. He started coming along very well at the end. So he stepped up in that role, like the Aaron Crawford role, and taking over that position. Then we have Ray Fahasik, who's doing an amazing job. He's making plays left and right. And yeah, just guys like that. Miles Murphy, he's coming along, a new freshman. He's doing great, pass rush, run block, everything. So it's just a young guy stepping up and taking on those roles that that we lost. So.
We know a lot about Tomari Fox. Who are some other guys in your position that have impressed you thus far?
I would have to say everybody's impressed me. Cameron Rucker, Desmond Evans, Desmond Evans, and Chris Collins. We've all stepped up this offseason. Just trying to get better every day. Coming out working on pass rush, run blocks. Desmond Evans, he's coming in at a good size. He's 6'6", 240. So he's gonna be there one of these days. You know what I'm saying? And Cameron Rucker, he's 6 foot 260 right now. So he's coming along very well. They both have the body types to step up next year and this year.
Great, thank you.
Okay, Ross Martin, you're up next.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew got into some of your position changes. You arrived as a linebacker and you played some defensive end, and now you're kind of a hybrid. Do you like that role, and what do you like about it, and what do you like about what you're doing now in this kind of versatile role?
I love this role. It just, like you said, allows me to be versatile, and one of my main goals is to get to the league next year. So, this just shows the next level that I can do a little bit of everything. So, I work on everything from playing in the inside to dropping on the 2 receiver. So, I love this role. Coach Bateman has done a great job. Coach DeWitt has done a great job in shaping me to play the position I am now.
Is it challenging for guys like you and Tomari Fox to drop into coverage, or is that something you had to get adjusted to, or how does that work when you're used to lining up and rushing the passer and then you have to drop and cover a pass catcher or running back?
I mean, I think we're pretty decent at it. There's always more room to improve, but coming in, I was a linebacker, so I always did things like that, like dropping on a 2 receiver, covering the running back out the backfield. And then we just continuously work on it. You know, over the summer, me, Chad, and Tomari will come out here to the field and just work every day, working on pass rush, and dropping certain things like that. So, you know, it just allowed us to be better at that.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Tyrone, thanks so much for your time.
Mark, we got Tomari Fox up next.
All right.
He'll be right here. Mark will walk.
Hey, Tomari.
What's up, sir?
Doing well. Thanks for joining us today. We will take a few questions here. Looks like first up is Greg Barnes. So, Greg, go ahead.
Hey, Tomari, thanks for joining us. Mac told us earlier this week that you're able to play really all four positions up front. When did that come to be? I mean, is that something you were able to do last year as a freshman, or have you really focused on that this offseason?
I feel like that's what kind of I brought to the table my freshman year. That's something I feel like is unique about me is my willingness to play all four spots. A lot of people are, and I'm not saying about my team, but a lot of people are unique to one position. But where I pride myself is being coachable and being athletic enough to move around all along the line just so we could work in different fronts, different blitzes, and put a lot of different kind of packages in.
That would seem to fit very well with what Jay Bateman wants in terms of, he talks about a positionless defense at times. You think that will help you see the field a lot this fall?
Definitely. That's something, like I said, I pride myself on. We do have a positionless defense, and just being available is what will get you on the field the quickest way possible. So you just got to be available in as many ways as you can.
Where are you playing at primarily?
Defensive end.
And okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, Andrew Jones, go ahead.
Hey, Tomari, you just said you're playing primarily defensive end. How much work are you getting inside right now?
I get a lot of work inside. We go through two different team periods. And so one, I kind of focus on tackle, and if I can, I might even jump in at a little bit of nose for different packages. And then we go our second team, and I'll stay out at end, or if we go nickel defense or dime, I'll move back into tackle.
What was a bigger adjustment for you? One of those inside spots or end last year, as far as having to deal with the blocking schemes, reading, and all that kind of stuff?
Last year, I would say more of playing tackle, because while you get contact a lot quicker, you also have to be a lot more patient and kind of let the rush progress for everybody else around you. If you kind of expose the integrity of the rush for everybody else, it could just set the whole defense apart. So playing tackle is a very key position when it comes to everybody rushing the passer.
And how have you progressed, and how much have you progressed in that respect from then and up to right now?
I feel like we've come quite a long way. Me and my teammates just having that chemistry there and being able to recognize each other's rushes and being able to balance it out mid-play so that we don't end up making a bust on defense.
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course.
All right, we'll go over to Gregory Hall.
Tomari, what are you trying to accomplish as a player this season?
For me, personally, I would like to bring the best out of all my teammates. Everybody here has so much ability. I'm pretty shocked about how good these young guys are. So what I want to be for them is an example and a leader being a young guy myself and understanding that we have sort of a young defense, at least up front, age-wise and experience-wise. I just wanted to be able to be somebody who sets the tone so that we could set a tone as a defense and make our mark as one of the best defenses in college football.
What kind of leader are you? What's your leadership style?
For me, it's always been by action. People know I'm a hard worker. I go in and do my extra reps here and there, just trying to get better each and every day. But what I kind of realized during the off season was it doesn't matter if you go in and do extra reps by yourself because you're not bringing anybody else with you. So what I try to focus on is speaking up more, giving more critiquing myself hard and holding guys accountable and making sure guys are working on their weaknesses so that those can eventually become strengths, and just trying to bring everybody along with me.
Thank you.
Okay, Greg Barnes.
Tomari, how beneficial was it for you back in the spring when everybody, you had to leave campus to be able to go home with your brother and have a workout partner, as it were?
Well, during the fall, we were in the same lift group, but we didn't lift next to each other. So going home, it was like I'm not gonna let him outwork me, and he's not gonna let me outwork him. So it was always just kind of thing where we were both just kind of climbing, and that kind of competition, that kind of almost rivalry, really pushes hard in the off season during the spring.
I imagine there's a lot of food eaten in the house. Was that an issue ever?
No, sir, not really. Our parents made sure that, we got what we needed. The people here, whatever was any kind of care packages, we always got what we needed. We were on top of it.
All right. Thanks, Tomari.
Of course.
Here for one.
Did you say me?
Mark,
Okay.
Mark Armstrong, you got your hand raised?
Yeah, Tomari, we've heard a lot about your brother's art skills. So I know you must have some kind of a hidden talent. What do you have in your bag that way?
Art actually kind of runs in the family. None of us really kind of were taught how to draw. We all just kind of know how, from my dad to my uncle to Timon. My sisters are crazy good artists. Like, it is unbelievable. And, I dabble in it here and there. I like to do photorealism, graphic art, things like that. So it's just kind of a talent we all kind of share.
Thank you.
All right, Ross, you're up now.
Hey, Tomari, you spoke about some of the younger players. I mean, who are some of the freshmen you think are standing out on the defensive line?
Ooh, we got a really good young group. Clyde Pender, I mean, super explosive. I haven't seen a big guy move like that in forever. Miles Murphy, he puts his head down, he works, he's being a real coachable. He's not afraid to go out there and make mistakes, and he's not afraid to take the coaching. That's what I like to see out of him, because, nobody's going to be perfect, but you got to be willing to grow from that. As someone who really stuck out to me, they call him Mini-Me just because he's like 20 pounds lighter. But Kamen Rucker, that boy can fly. Like, that dude is super explosive, and I am very impressed by how he's been playing.
Awesome stuff there. And finally, what's your favorite lift? Your brother talked about your weightlifting in his previous interview. He said you're a beast in the weight room. What do you like to get after, and what do you think is your best, most effective lift?
I definitely have always been a fan of bench. I feel like, as dudes, people go in and lift, but what you really look at is the bench rack. Like, you're going to go in and see, who could bench press the most weight, especially being in my position, having to push guys around. It's kind of more of a pride thing. So I would say probably bench, but I will get underneath the squat rack. I do enjoy squat quite a lot.
Awesome. Guys being dudes.
That's it. All right, we'll wrap up tomorrow here. We're back with Gregory Hall.
So Tomari, who lifts more, you or your brother?
Me, most definitely. Without a question.
It's not close at all? You're just on top, you're just beating him down the whole time?
It's just one of those things where I can't let myself lose. If I see him go in there, he's going to throw on some serious weight, I'll throw on 5 more pounds just to be that kind of guy.
Nice. I like it.
Cool. Tomari, thanks a lot for your time. We appreciate it.
Of course. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Tomari.
And we got to do some more there, Mark.
Ross,
Yeah,
you're showing
that was
off
fun.
your Google skills there.
Tomari Fox is the new interview king of UNC.
Yeah, he loves it.
Oh, the interview king, huh? We got
Hey,
Jace
Jace.
Ruder. What's going on?
Thanks for joining us. We'll run through a few questions here and get you on your way. So for the group, whoever wants to lead us off, please raise your hand. And it looks like Greg Barnes is first in. So go ahead, Greg.
Hey, Jace. How's the position group been playing out so far in camp?
Yeah, our position group, we've been doing really well. We hold each other accountable in the meeting room, on the field, and we really just have a good connection between the four of us. We got me, Sam, Jacoby, and Jefferson Boaz, and we all do a great job of just having fun with each other, competing every day, and making sure we know the job of our teammates as well as ourselves.
When did you get back to full 100% and full go?
Yeah, truthfully, I got back 100% probably early June, late May, early June. So I ended up having surgery on my leg in February. Ended up being an 8-month recovery instead of an 8-week recovery. And that took a little longer than expected. And so by end of May, I was full go.
How has that process been since you were cleared in June in terms of, I'm sure you feel like you're trying to kind of cram everything in to make sure you're up to speed for training camp. How has that process been?
It's not easy because you got to do a little extra to kind of play catch up, but Coach Hess does a great job of making sure that we stay healthy as we're trying to get back into it. So I've just been really listening to Coach Hess and making sure I'm doing my treatments, stretching, doing my mobility work, and doing my speed work to stay caught up.
Thanks, Jace.
Okay, Ross Martin, you're up next.
Hey, Jace. In a previous interview, Coach Brown talked about using 2 quarterbacks throughout the game to maybe let Sam sit out and kind of get a feel for the game. How do you see your role on the field in 2020?
All I can do is work, show up and work each day and be prepared for whatever comes at me. So whether Coach Brown decides to play 2 quarterbacks or not, I'm going to be ready to go. And whenever my chance comes, I'm going to take it and run with it.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Andrew Jones.
Jace, I know you don't need the rehash. You're going back to Georgia Tech your freshman year, getting hurt, and then last year you get on the field, a couple snaps against Wake, and then against App State you get hurt again. You're out for the year. But one of the things that I've seen a lot is the spirit that you kind of brought to the team. And some of your teammates have talked about it too, that no matter what you've been through, you've always been an uplifting, spirited guy. How have you been able to maintain that through all this stuff that you've been through? Or just a couple of flashes and boom, then you're hurt again.
Yeah, I think that's my responsibility as a leader on this team, is to lift people up no matter my circumstances, because no matter how bad I think I got it, somebody else has it worse than me. So I think my job as a leader is just to lift everybody up no matter the circumstance and just stay high-spirited and every day just try to bring energy to the team.
Not in terms of the recovery, but just kind of mentally and having to process what you were dealing with. Which injury was more difficult to deal with, to overcome?
Definitely my leg injury. There ended up being a lot more complications with that one than I expected to be. I kind of expected to be back within 8 weeks, and it ended up turning into 8 months. So it kind of threw me for a loop. Wasn't really able to get back on my feet like I wanted to and get back to training. And then just the whole situation, I was really looking forward to playing last year, and then unfortunately broke my leg and it kind of ended my season right there. And so that was pretty tough mentally. But through the help of great teammates and Mitch Mason and just my coaches, I was able to, get back up and lead the team from a different area. And like y'all said, I really do that through lifting people up on the sidelines.
Cool. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Okay. Back over to Greg Barnes.
Jace, we've heard a lot about Kyler Mcmichael, but we haven't obviously seen him yet. Kind of what are your thoughts on him at cornerback thus far?
Yeah, Kyler's a beast. He's big, he's strong, and he's fast. So, Kyler really, paints a picture of what you want to see on the defense, or not what I want to see on the defensive side, but what a coach wants to see on the defensive side.
What about the secondary as a whole? Injuries really ravaged that group last year. Max talked about the depth over there. Just kind of a general overview of how they've looked thus far.
Yeah, they've looked great. I can definitely tell a difference from last year from this year to last year. They fly around. They're fast. they're a little more experienced than they were last year, and that always helps. And they're more healthy and they have more depth. So when you get those things together and you got great leadership on that side of the ball, it really helps them. You've got some great young guys coming in who I've seen start making a difference, and they really fly around and they do a great job.
Thanks, Jace.
All right, we'll wrap up today with Ross Martin.
What have you seen out of Jacoby Criswell, and what does he bring from the quarterback position?
Yeah, Jacoby's a great kid. He's a good leader. He's not really the most outspoken person, so you kind of have to get him to speak up. When he wants to say something, but when he's on the field, he does a great job. He's got a great arm. He's pretty athletic, and he's doing a great job of learning the offense. So, I'm here to help Jacoby in any way. And he's another brother of mine that I'm going to do whatever I can to make him better.
What about Jefferson Boaz?
Yeah, Boaz is doing well. He came in late summer, so he doesn't know the offense as well. But he's got a good arm, and he's real tall, so he has no issue seeing over the line like some of us do. So Boaz is really devoted to learning the playbook. You tell him to go learn something one night, the next morning you ask him a question, he's got it down. So Boaz does a great job of getting into that playbook and making sure he knows what he's doing before he comes into meetings that day.
Awesome. Thanks, Jace.
No problem.
All right, Jace, thanks for your time today.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys.
See you, Jace.
See you, man. All right, y'all. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Jeremy.
All
Any
right.
questions from your end? We good to go?
Yep.
Cool.
Thank you,
I
appreciate it.
think tomorrow will be around noon. So unless something changes, but I think that's where we're at. So
Are they
I'll shoot you.
scrimmaging?
I don't think yet.
Okay.
I don't think yet. I think that starts the next week, but I could be wrong.